A secretary who had worked for me for about 5 years suddenly tendered her resignation without giving a reason. She simply stated that she could no longer continue working. It was a difficult situation, as she had become like family to me. Nevertheless, I had to accept it and started looking for a new candidate. We placed ads in various publications. The next day, I found a resume on my doorstep that I was not particularly impressed with. There were a limited number of applicants for the position, mostly women in their 40s. While there was nothing wrong with them, I was looking for a secretary for the long term. And taking one of these women, who are no longer young, would result in me having to retire the next day. I looked at several candidates until I settled on one woman in her 30s. She looked pretty, slim, well-dressed, and had a presence of mind in her face. It was obvious that she knew her business and would not question which side of the computer was on. Of all the candidates that came in, she was the best option. I called her in for an interview. The woman's name was Anna, and she really turned out to be a savvy professional. She could do everything that was required of her. Therefore, I did not hesitate and did not waste any extra minutes and hired her. I watched her work carefully for a few days, but everything was fine. Anna perfectly coped with the documentation, was polite with incoming clients, and was able to pretend in time that I was not in the office. In addition, she brewed divine coffee. At the end of the month, another, expected for this time of the month, unpleasantness happened. I had to stay late at work to clear the mountains of work that had accumulated. On one such evening, I was particularly late. So much so that my worried and disgruntled wife called the office. "Honey, are you going to sleep on the job tonight?" asked my wife. "I understand, but the new secretary is so young and clearly needs your attention." The displeasure in my voice became much stronger. I responded with indignation, much more so. What does Anna have to do with this? I work hard on papers, trying to bring more money into the family. I work like a donkey, and what do I get in return? Your unsubstantiated accusations. I growled into the phone and dropped the call. The stress was starting to give me a headache. At that moment, Anna entered the office quietly with a mug of hot coffee. "Is something wrong, William?" she asked, holding out a mug of the much-needed beverage to me. I waved her away, not wanting to talk about my wife. "Nothing of the sort, Anna. You don't have to sit with me tonight." "How on earth am I going to leave you here alone?" The girl wondered. "I can see how much has come over you. You're not resting at all." She suddenly stepped closer and leaned toward me. Her hands slid down my chest to my tie, loosening it. "You need to relax," she continued, and held out her hand. "Let me help you." Perhaps the stress and my wife's gratuitous attacks played a part. Perhaps I wanted to teach her a lesson for her yelling into the phone receiver. And I didn't refuse to give in to my secretary's entreaties. Indeed, after all that had happened, I felt much better, having done the rest of my work in half an hour. I made the right choice when I hired Anna. She knows how to help me when I have a lot of work to do in the office. Have you had similar stories? Tell me in the comments. I read all the comments. Thank you all. See you later.